Remembrance Day is a cornerstone of the British calendar, a time for poppies, reflection, and gratitude. The royal family, as always, stood at the heart of these commemorations. This year, the Prince and Princess of Wales were to lead digital tributes from Kensington Palace. But as the nation paused in silence, a glaring error appeared on their official social media. The tribute post, meant to honour the nation's heroes, misspelled the word Vetrens. A missing A and E, a small typo, but on this day it felt enormous. Screenshots spread instantly. The post was deleted and replaced, but the damage was done. The internet is unforgiving. The corrected post felt more like a quiet admission of failure than a tribute. On Remembrance Day, details matter. To misspell the very word for those being honoured felt like a fundamental lapse. It suggested a disconnect between the grand gesture and the small, crucial details that give it meaning. The silence of the day was broken not by bugles, but by the tap of keyboards pointing out a mistake that should never have happened. In a moment meant for solemnity, a single typo became the story. Why did veterans cause such a stir? Because words have weight, especially on days of national importance. Veterans is not just a label, it's a title of honour for those who have sacrificed for their country. Misspelling it, even unintentionally, diminishes the respect the title commands. The monarchy is built on symbolism and tradition. Every message is crafted to uphold dignity. When that process fails, especially on Remembrance Day, it feels like a betrayal of their core function. For veterans and their families, the error likely felt personal, a small, slight landing on old wounds. It feeds the narrative that the establishment pays lip service without true understanding. In the military, precision is everything. Details matter. Names on a memorial must be spelled correctly. For the palace to fail on such a basic detail, on the one day dedicated to this culture, was a profound misstep. It showed a lack of awareness and a failure to apply the same rigour to their communications as service members apply to their duties. Ultimately, the misspelling was a failure of the most basic form of respect, getting the name right. On Remembrance Day, that's non-negotiable. The reaction to the Vetrens blunder was telling, not just for what was said, but for what wasn't. Mainstream media reported it, but the tone was forgiving. It was framed as a simple typo, quickly corrected. Commentators were gentle, suggesting it was a human error from a junior staffer. Now, imagine if this mistake had appeared on the Sussex's Archewell site. The headlines would have been savage, the criticism relentless. For Harry and Meghan, every slip is dissected and weaponised. For Kensington Palace, it's a minor hiccup. This double standard is impossible to ignore. The media's gentle handling of the palace, compared to the hypothetical frenzy for the Sussexes, shows the rules are different depending on who you are. For those inside the royal fold, mistakes are forgivable. For those who've stepped away, they're evidence of a fundamental failing. This isn't fair journalism. It's a narrative war, where headlines become weapons and truth is the casualty. If we are to hold public figures to account, the standards must be applied evenly. The Vetrens typo exposed not just a spelling error, but a bias in how the royal family is covered. That's a bigger problem than any typo. The Vetrens incident pulls back the curtain on the inner workings of Kensington Palace. An institution of this stature, with vast resources, should have processes to prevent such basic errors. A simple spell check, a second pair of eyes, these are fundamentals of professional communication. The fact that this mistake made it through suggests a breakdown in that process, or perhaps a lack of one. In the rush to be timely on social media, quality control was skipped. The royal family isn't a typical influencer. Their role is to embody stability and gravitas. A rushed, error-filled post does the opposite, making them look sloppy and modern in the worst way. This single typo becomes a symbol of a larger issue, a digital strategy that's lost sight of its purpose. The palace must reassess its approach, ensuring every communication is treated with the seriousness it deserves. In contrast, look at how the Sussexes manage their public responsibilities. With fewer resources, their output is consistently polished and precise. They know that under the microscope, There's no room for unforced errors. Their work with veterans, especially through the Invictus games, is always meticulous. Every statement is carefully worded, every project thoughtfully executed. The difference isn't just talent, it's pressure. Harry and Meghan have no safety net. Their work must speak for itself. They can't rely on the deference granted to the monarchy. They must earn credibility with every post. This has instilled a discipline in their operation that the palace, in its comfort, seems to have lost. By maintaining high standards, they protect themselves from criticism and show respect for their audience. In the public eye, you're only as good as your last post. The Sussexes have learned that lesson well. It's easy to dismiss a typo as trivial, but small errors can signal larger problems. The Vetrens mistake is like a loose thread on a tapestry. Pull it, and more may unravel. It suggests complacency within the royal establishment, a belief that respect is guaranteed, not earned. In the modern era, trust in institutions is fragile and must be constantly renewed. Careless mistakes, however small, erode that trust. The Prince and Princess of Wales may not have typed the message, but they are responsible for their office's output. Leadership is about ensuring the small things are done right, not just the grand gestures. A spelling mistake on a royal account is a digital broken window, a sign that standards are slipping. It may seem minor, but it creates an impression of carelessness that taints the institution. If they can't get a word right, can they be trusted with more complex duties? That's the question that lingers. What should the palace learn from this episode? First, improve quality control. Every public message must be reviewed before release. A simple checklist and spell check should be mandatory. The palace must invest in systems and people to prevent such mistakes. Second, accountability matters. A brief public apology would have shown humility and respect. Deleting the post created an impression of hiding the mistake, drawing more attention to it. Third, the palace must shed complacency and adapt to a new media landscape. Every citizen with a smartphone is now a journalist. Scrutiny is constant. The royal family's power is soft power, built on public perception and goodwill. That goodwill is fragile, easily damaged by carelessness. This incident should prompt a full review of their communication strategy. The palace should use this as a catalyst for change, to ensure they are fit to represent the nation in the modern age. Excellence in every detail is now a necessity, not a luxury. The lesson, never take public trust for granted. In the end, this story is about the unwritten contract between the monarchy and the people. The public grants the royals their platform. In return, the royals must serve with diligence and respect. This contract is tested in the small, everyday actions, like a social media post. The Vetrens blunder was a small breach, but it adds to the perception that the monarchy sometimes values image over substance. True respect is shown in the details, by getting names right, by listening, by ensuring tributes are spelled correctly. These small things are the building blocks of trust. The lesson for the royal family, and all in power: never take your platform for granted. Every word carries weight. Approach your duties with humility and attention to detail. The future of the monarchy depends not on lineage, but on honouring this contract of respect and responsibility. On a day meant for remembrance, the details matter most.
To all my amazing and curious Sussex family, thank you all for watching our videos, and do not forget to subscribe, like, and put a comment. Bye bye. See you in our next episode. Bye.